spoke to 3 of the new arborists who were just hired about 2 months ago, and they were on Kingsbury Street, and I had a nice conversation with them. And they've got a team of people going around removing some of these dead trees. But that is the preview of the Public Safety Committee, streets and so forth. So I'd just like to see some action from public safety about the street. In fact, the only person who actually was working on it was Cindy when she was passing around the list for everybody to send in locations of potholes. And right now, our biggest need for filling potholes seems to be on our main streets, which is Zelza, right out here, Chatsworth Street, San Fernando Mission, Balboa. They all got big chunks of asphalt coming up. And again, I haven't seen any meetings by public safety or anything, but I would ask those people to really get on it so we can get this here fixed, because they're only going to get bigger. Thank you.
1 second, Will.
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Couldn't tell. In terms of the tree, because you were on Kingsbury Street, and I spoke to the same people you did, you probably know the same thing I do, and that is that there is one group that takes down trees for the entire valley. They're heavily on Kingsbury right now, so they are giving the street the attention that it needs. What more do you expect, the Public Safety Committee to do? We have the only group in the valley working. What more can we do?
Squeaky wheel gets in the order.
Well, we've obviously been squeaky enough. They're there.
Well,
I mean, I can't get them any closer to you, Eric. I can't put them in your driveway.
It's not just me. If they're on Kingsbury Street, that's just one street in the Granada Hills South area. And I can tell you, there's a lot of other trees that needs to be removed before they fall. In fact, one of the reasons I think they showed up is because I have been after them. I have their numbers. I have street services and the tree service and all of them. And I think the only reason they really jumped on it is because a couple of them have fallen.
That's exactly why they're on it.
But this would be a good time to really press them on it. And if you're not meeting and not making reports on what's going on in our streets, they're not going to just, okay, we feel good, we're going to fix this. You have to press them.
Okay, thank you very much for your remarks. Is that the end of the speaker question?
Yes.
Any other public comment? Bonnie?
Just wanted to announce that the Granada Hills Chamber of Commerce is having their 89th installation of the board members and Citizen of the Year Award, and it's going to be on February 22nd, or Wednesday at lunch at the 94th Aero Squadron. And it is our Granada Hills Chamber of Commerce, and we really, you can look it up on the website. There's a way to just click on it. You can fax in the reservation. It's $40 a person, and it's an important event for the Granada Hills Chamber of Commerce, and they hope that as many board members as possible would also attend. It's a Wednesday starting at 11:30 at the 94th Aero Squadron, and that's February 22nd.
Is that a discount for board members?
No, somebody else planned it, and it's $40 for everyone. It's not as expensive as the dinner was.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, we're going to move to the minutes. I'm sorry, we're going to move to community speakers, starting with Billy Jones from Council District 12.
Thank you very much, Dave, and good evening, everyone. I've got several things that I wanted to announce or mention, and I'll try and go through them as quickly as I can. First of all, I mentioned last month about an ordinance that was going into effect for no vehicle, in other words, no dwelling in vehicles and campers overnight on residential streets, parks, schools, parks and schools. That ordinance is in effect and will start to be enforced on February 6th. It's Monday. So if you have concerns, you can call the LAPD after that. They will go out and look into the matter for you. Last week was the Greater Los Angeles Region homeless count for 2017. San Fernando Valley count took place Tuesday night, the 24th. Council District 12 staff was involved in that count. And obviously it's important to collect that data, see what trends there are, what changes there have been throughout the city, throughout the county. And also, the count has to do in some means for the resources that you get back from this. So we are waiting anxiously to hear that report. The location of the Summer Olympics for 2024 will be decided in September, and the City Council just recently approved a bid to the event. And we've heard a lot about that in the news, I know. Los Angeles is in contention with theirs. The City Council approved a framework for sidewalk vending ordinance this week by a vote of 11 to 2. Councilmember Englander voted no. He felt that the framework was too vague with respect to protecting neighborhoods. The city departments are going to come back in 60 days with more of the specifics on the framework. But whether there's going to be an opt-in or opt-out, it was unclear at this point. So while we've been waiting anxiously on more word on that, it's just still unclear as to what's going to happen there. But it's become a very political issue as there is a push to decriminalize street vending and only a citation or a fine would be given. So that is to come back, and I think there were 3 separate votes on that issue in various forms. But the councilman has voted against it because, again, he's listened to what his community has said in terms of choosing to opt in. City Council approved the judgment obligation bond policy, basically to issue bonds to pay for lawsuits that the city incurs. The councilman voted no on this because he doesn't think it's financially prudent to issue bonds to pay off lawsuits. It's not a one-time fix. It's not a one-time thing. The city gets sued over and over, and this needs to be budgeted in your general budget and not affecting your credit rating. He says it's like it's similar to paying your mortgage on a credit card, which is not a wise thing to do. So at any rate, he voted no on that. Plans are underway to install a full traffic signal at Zelsa and Kingsbury with sidewalk improvements there. And that work is supposed to commence during Easter break when there will be less pedestrian traffic because the kids being out on break. April 10th. And they hope to finish it very soon thereafter. There is a homeless encampment cleanup that is taking place this week at Plummer and the underpass at 405. Council District 12 has worked very hard on the encampment cleanups and at the same time taking the appropriate people out to make sure that there's services offered and working closely with our sanitation department, the OPD, and the Hope team.
What do they do when they clean it up?
Sanitation comes in, they clean it up. I believe if there are things that people want to store, they can store them, I believe, for 60 days.
Up to 60 days
at a certain yard.
Worth of property.
But again, the resources are offered so that they have somewhere to go and trying to give them an alternative to being on the streets, on the sidewalks. And then January 13th, Councilmember Englander met with key stakeholders from the Granada Hills community in both the North and the South neighborhood councils in the Chamber of Commerce regarding the proposed project to build 440 apartment units on has received quite a bit of attention. The council member was quite interested in obtaining input from the neighborhood council, and I wanted to thank Dave, and I wanted to thank Maria Fisk. I don't see Maria, but I wanted to thank them both for participating from your neighborhood council and giving very wise and very, very sage advice and suggestions to the council member. We appreciate that. The hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, December the 7th at 11 o'clock at the Browdy Building, 6262 Van Nuys Boulevard.
December, wow, they're pushed it way back.
I'm sorry. February 7th. Forget
Didn't
the
want to give us
December.
time to weigh up. Good job, guys.
Next Tuesday, February 7th, 11 o'clock at 6262 Van Nuys Boulevard. That's the Browdy Building. It's the first floor conference room for any people interested in attending that hearing. And the councilman will also ask that the hearing, that the record be held open for additional public comment, so the public comment will be closed that day. And then tomorrow, the councilman is excited about recognizing the Old Granada Hills Residents Group at a city council meeting. It's going to be locally in Van Nuys, so we're very excited to be recognizing and appreciating all the work that Old Granada Hills Residents Group has done and continues to do. And then I'm going to provide to Dave and for members of the council some needs assessment forms. Eric, your comments were right on in terms of city services, core services, but we have a form there that we would ask. It's not for wide distribution, but it's basically for the council members. When you see something that needs to be done in your community, whether it's for street services, whether it's tree trimming, cleanup areas, graffiti, please use that to share with the council members to see if we can't make up a more concentrated effort at getting into the community and making sure that core services, cleanups are done, things like that. So again, another way to partner with the neighborhood council, and we appreciate your help on that. The councilman's going to have a speaker series that's on a quarterly basis, and I'll put some flyers on the back of the room. Starting, the first series is February the 9th. Two speakers are going to come and talk about their experience with the Holocaust. And it should be emotional, it should be memorable, and I know we have some limited space left, which is going to be in the councilman's office over on Oakdale and Chatsworth. But if you are interested, give a call tomorrow to our office and make a reservation. And trying to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. I know I've taken probably more than my time, but I thank you very much.
All right, a couple questions. Sally?
Excuse me, the RV parking, does Big Nut extend that to where the freeway overpasses are?
It's only on residential streets and adjoining schools, parks, preschools, again, where children would be.
Okay.
But no, the underpasses are really the responsibility of Caltrans, I believe.
Okay, so more of the overpasses by the road.
Sydney, I'm sorry.
Overpasses. No, it does not. I believe Eric and then William.
Yeah. You mentioned they were going to install a light at Kingsbury and Zosa.
Yes.
What spurred that need?
I was not part
That
of
is awfully close to
the one at San Jose.
Yeah, and running right out here at this corner, and the one at Chatsworth Street. So, and are they going to put a crosswalk in there as well?
I believe it will have a crosswalk as well.
Yeah, there's currently a crosswalk.
That's a lot of traffic lights in a small
In
area.
a small area. I believe the warrants were there for one, and in light of so many kids crossing in various places and a difficult time in getting out of that street, a lot of cars using that street and coming out, that there was the field of a need for that. On the same topic?
On that same topic.
I will say that when you're going on Kingsbury, you're trying to make a left turn, you can't really see the traffic that's coming because of the park and everything. It's very
That's true.
uneven. So it's actually a really dangerous place to try to make a left turn, and the right turn is sort of awkward because people are crossing to try to get to Chatsworth
I
Street.
do it 2 or 3 times a day.
Right, me too. So I actually really appreciate a light over there.
William?
Yes, back to the first topic, the new ordinance that goes into effect on February 6th regarding the homeless parking overnight in residential neighborhoods. In doing the research on the ordinance, I found that there are 5 generalized area maps with red lines, yellow lines, and green lines that show the people that are living in their cars where they can park during what hours and in what areas. And in that city council file, there was also a statement that those maps would be available at all the local police division stations. Now, I went to Devonshire Division and I talked to somebody and they had no clue about the map. So I'm just wondering if you are familiar with that map, and are we going to make sure that it is available at the police stations like the information says it would be?
I can pass that along.
Great, thank you.
Anything else? Don?
Yes, ma'am. The sidewalk funding piece, so are there still 3 pieces of legislation that are being determined?
There was a 30A amendment. They're looking at so many various things.
Right, so there's still a lot of flux. They haven't decided on one.
It's still a very moving target,
Okay.
and there's still, basically, they're looking at departments taking 60 days, up to 60 days, to reply back with a report on the specifics of the ordinance.
Okay. And then did they?
I think they took 3 separate votes, was what I saw.
Right. Yeah, and I remember. I was monitoring it more closely when I was in Central. Not so much over the last month. I was just wondering for that. But when does the city expect the results from the homeless count?
I don't know. I asked Eric King that, and we're not sure when it's going to get back to us.
Okay. And is that a loss piece?
Loss.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay, never mind. And, thank you, William.
We'll let you know when we hear.
Okay, yeah, we weren't aware of that piece of the ordinance either. They hadn't sent the maps to North Hollywood, which is where I'm stationed now. So I will inquire to our
I'll
council,
email you the link.
the CED. Oh no, I mean the link isn't issued, but I assume that the city printing office would print out.
That's what it seemed like they were going to be doing.
Otherwise, I'm going to burn my own. I'm going to burn my toner. That's expensive.
Yeah, I saw the map. I already looked at the map.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's
Pretty
available.
complicated.
And the last piece, just to clarify what you were saying, so that there's no false expectations. When you call the LAPD because there are people that are living in their vehicle in a restricted area, there's still going to be the requirement to go out and do outreach, give warnings, make available information to the person living in their vehicle about where they can be. So just not to have the expectation that officers are going to run out there and handcuff people living in their cars. That's
They're not going to do that. They're not going to turn them away. They'll knock on the door, and if there's no answer to the door, they can do no more.
Okay, we have one last question here from Renee.
Yeah, actually, it was you backing on that thing about reporting stuff to the city. The city has a wonderful app that I use, the 311 app, that you take a picture of the actual thing that you're reporting, and it saves a lot of time insofar as reporting a particular issue, because you take a picture, the picture has all the records of where it is and everything, and it's a wonderful app.
That's what everyone tells me, that the 311 app works.
311 app.
All right, Billy, thank you very much for your report. Appreciate it. All right, Officer Delcor is not here tonight. We're going to go to C, reports from, we're going to start with Vank. Ask the liaisons to keep their reports to about 2 minutes. Mr. Mansker first.
You're going to have a report? You're next. First thought from the bank meeting was the LADWP, LA Department of Water and Power Customer Bill of Rights. Now, I got a big problem with this bill, right? Dave, did you print those out? Are they?
They're on, yes, they're on the back table, it's on the agenda.
I hope everybody picks them up. The problem I have with this is that the city has been working on this here for quite a while. They didn't finish it until late in December, and then they were supposed to have a hearing on it on the 3rd, January 3rd. Everybody at bank objected to it, of course, because we hadn't even seen it yet. And all of a sudden, you're going to have a hearing on something that hasn't even been distributed, especially to the neighborhood councils who they came and spoke to us about. And this seems to be a problem. As a matter of fact, I CC'd Dave on a request for an item to be put on the next bank agenda, requesting that the city and all of its departments give neighborhood councils at least a 90-day leave, because we only have one meeting a month. And if we don't get a 90-day lead to be able to look over the material, it's hard for us to make a judgment on it. There's no way the committees or anybody else, even if it's introduced at this meeting, it won't be heard from until a month or two down the line. And as I said, I know you guys haven't had a chance to review it. The same thing can be said for this Measure M. It's the marijuana initiative. It's basically how the city plans to set up the rules and regulations for the sale of recreational marijuana. Again, this didn't come out, he's been working knowing that this was coming down the pipe. And they just gave it to us at the bank meeting, which was about 3 weeks ago. And it's the first time we ever got a chance to see it. Again, the election is on March 7th. So there's no way in the world the neighborhood councils can look at it, review it, make suggestions or anything else. And so look it over, talk to it with your friends and everything, but these are some of the problems that I've had with the city and its various departments sending us material and not giving the neighborhood councils a chance to review it. And I think that was just about it for my report. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mark?
Yeah, thank you. For the light meeting, unfortunately, I've had a schedule change in my work, and so it's difficult for me to actually make it to the meeting, but I'm following what is going on there so that I can report back, and if there's anybody here that would like to physically be there, I can help you in whatever way possible. I'll even help with the gas money. But these are important meetings to attend because they go over a lot of the elements like was just discussed, including what Millie was talking about with this bill, the motion being proposed to fund lawsuits. And this will actually be coming up as an agendized item this coming Saturday to be discussed. They cover a lot of things. They have a lot of great speakers. So if anybody after the meeting wants to get with me, I can, however it is, I can help you attend these until I get a change in schedule. I'd like to help you with that. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have our budget reps, budget advocate, budget reps. You want to start, Krista, and then Cindy, if you want to add anything when she's made a report, please do. Go ahead, Krista.
Real short report. I'm sure you all know that we've been hoping to have a larger turnout of people participating in the survey. Has everybody here taken it? I know that these were passed around again, but if anybody needs one, they're here. If anybody wants some more to share, this is literally the last of the bunch. I was at City Hall today and brought these with me because Porter Ranch still needs some. I'm going to save some for them, but this is it. If you have any friends and family you think you want to pass them out, I can give them to you now. But we are hoping to have a larger participation again. We're in the, we've completed the white paper. The white paper is being reviewed, all the reports for every department. All the meetings have been done, the reports are in, and the white paper will be released soon for everybody to review. And then we have our big budget days, we got the fiscal budget was approved, so that's gonna be happening. We do ask that each neighborhood council allocates between $250 to $500 for this budget day. It's gonna be an all-day event, breakfast, lunch, and forums. We're inviting candidates and elected officials to speak at this this annual event. So I could go ahead and email you that, or you guys wanna, you have to, I guess you have to take a vote on it?
Yeah, we can take
When
a
is
vote.
Um, I know it's late March, or they don't have an actual date, it's late March, February or in March.
Email me the information.
I will.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Cindy, you want to follow up with anything?
No, but I think everybody, with the survey card, I sent it to everybody in an email. I had a question as to where the survey is, that if you go on the website, it's in the middle, there's a green button in the middle of it. So I think everybody can forward it to their contacts as well, is that a PDF? No. But is that something that I can make a motion for later, or no?
No, it's not on the
It has to be on the
agenda.
agenda.
Yeah. You can email if we want to put it on March, but, or we can put it on the website. If we want to do that. That might be the best way to go, if we just prepare something for Aaron to put on the website.
Okay. I mean, for the funds for the budget.
Oh, the funds, I'm sorry. No, it's going to take email me, we can put it on March if it's not too late. Okay, let Julie, I don't know if you caught all of this. We have, Brandon is here.
Yeah, no, I got it.
You got everybody? Okay. All right, thank you very much, Krishna and Cindy. Let's go to approval of the minutes, starting with the December 1, 2016 minutes. Julie?
Okay, so, we need to approve minutes for both December and January, so, I'm moving that we approve the minutes for December 1st meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Borer. Discussion, public comment, anything? Public comment on this? I don't see any hands. Any discussion with the board? I don't see any. I think we're ready to vote. Let's take a roll call vote on this, please. Starting with me. Ready?
No?
Okay. Say
She's honest.
Okay, so this is for approval of the December minutes.
Correct.
Dave Bouvet.
yes.
Mike Benedetto.
Yes.
Laura Jeffrey.
Yes.
Bonnie Bird.
Yes.
Julie Carson, yes. Jet Dunlap.
I think he stepped out.
Okay. Don Graham.
Aye.
Justin Kim.
Yes.
Sally Colstad.
Yes.
Don Lopez.
Yes.
Darren Lopez.
Yes.
Joe Lyle.
Yes.
Anthony Matthews.
Yes.
Mark Morris.
Abstain. I wasn't here.
Brandon Schindelheim.
Yes.
Renee Senegal. Andrew Wall.
Yes.
Cindy Wu-Freedman.
Yes.
Okay, so they're approved.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the next 7 minutes.
Okay, so now we're looking at the draft minutes for January. So I move that these minutes be approved.
Is there a second? Seconded by Bonnie Burst. Any public comment on the January minutes? All right.
I have a question, and I sent
Well,
you this,
okay,
that I was not at the meeting, but yet in the January
Does it say
minutes,
where?
it says that something about the beautification committee on page 3. That was discussed.
it just has your name on it as a chair, right? Doesn't
Yeah, well,
indicate you were
the
present.
assumption I got from reading it was that something took place besides the fact that I was there. I think we had voted to postpone, which we did in December. Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Is that on page 4, item 8A?
Yeah, that was, okay, I see what you're saying. It says, Mr. Bouvet asked Mr. Lyle, so that implies that you were here. So,
You were not here at the January meeting?
he was absent, because it's
I was
reflected in the
absent.
roll call that he wasn't here.
It says in roll call I was absent, so.
Dave, if
Go ahead, Julie.
that probably you were gonna talk to him.
Okay.
Probably not.
We probably should just take that out of the,
How about we just leave it, it was agreed to postpone this item, and I just take out Mr. Bouvet, out Mr. Lyle.
is that acceptable, Joel?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's do that. Any other board comment, discussion? All right, with that amendment, we'll take a roll call vote with the minutes as amended.
Okay, so this is to approve the January minutes. Dave Bouvet,
Yes.
Mike Benedetto,
Yes.
Jeffrey Bohr,
Yes.
Bonnie Burt,
Yes.
Steve Carson, yes. Jet Dunlap,
Abstain.
Don Graham,
Aye.
Justin Kim,
I'll abstain.
Sally Colstead,
Yes.
Don Lopez, abstain. Darren Lopez,
Yes.
Joe Lyle,
Abstain.
Anthony Matthews,
Yes.
Mark Morris,
Yes.
Brandon Schindelheim, Renee Trinidad,
Abstain.
Andrew Wall,
Yes.
Cindy Wu-Freedman.
Yes.
Okay, 13, so it's approved.
All right, thank you very much. Both December 1st, 2016 and January 5th, 2017 minutes are approved. The next item is item 4, approval of the budget, report of monthly expenditures for October and November and December. And I will admit to screwing up here. Brandon had sent me October and November, and I failed to print them and have them printed, copied. Just flat forgot them in the computer. So later in the agenda, we're going to be talking about a special meeting. If we hold a special meeting later in the month, we'll put that on the agenda as well as.
I can at least say the amounts.
You can go through it without us taking a vote on it, if you like.
Well, I'll just say what the ending.
Okay, go ahead.
Save some time. As long as we repeat it anyway.
Oh, we don't get the full version?
No.
For your numbers all month.
Consider it a gift. So we had, I need to do November. No, yeah.
So you sent me October, November.
Yeah, so at the end of October, the remaining amount, after encumbrances and cash spent is $24,319.28. After November, expenditures and meetings, encumbrances that we, voted on, there was $22,524.49 left out of a budget of $42,000.
Thank you.
So about 24 grand.
Okay. So we will take formal action on that if we have a special meeting, otherwise it'll be voted on at the October meeting. I'm sorry, at the March meeting. Let's move to board issues. That's number. Oh, 67. Okay. So moving to the next page, folks. Board issues. Issue A, which is a motion to support the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council position regarding the reopening of the Southern California Gas Aliso Canyon facility. Mr. Morris, you asked that this be put on the agenda. A copy of that letter is in the back, by the way, if anyone from the public wants to look at the letter. Hopefully everyone has reviewed it because it went out with the agenda. Mark, I'll leave it to you to make the motion.
Yeah, and this is something that we had covered one time before, and I apologize because I had thought that they had already voted in the Porter Ranch Chamber Council to pass this and send it to the governor, but they have now. And so the motion I'd like to put on the floor is that Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council supports the letter that endorses the letter that Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council submitted to the governor regarding the closure of the Aliso Canyon facility for Southern California gas. And can I get a second? Oh, is there any public?
Wait, is there, was there a second?
Michael Benedict was seconded. Any public comment?
Well, I'm not exactly for this motion. I understand passions are really high up in Porter Ranch about the gas leak that occurred last year and the subsequent. Also, I'd like to ask, number one, A and B, how do they relate to one another? Because about the reopening, as I understand it, they want to know about what the root cause of the leak was. And I kept reading about that in the paper. And
right, that's going to be covered in the next motion.
Yeah, but that's what I was asking. How does one relate to the? Are they separate?
Well, they're listed separate on the agenda.
Well, they may be separate on the agenda, but if they're one and the same thing going down the line.
Actually, they're not.
They're not one and the same thing.
Because what the motion is on the floor right now is regarding a letter supporting Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council. We put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into this letter to go off to the governor to address an issue that is in everybody's backyard, including ours, and was actually the site of the largest man-made greenhouse gas disaster in American history, according to the Washington Post.
And they don't know why.
Right,
yeah,
well,
again,
but to avoid a discussion, what I wanted to point out is that the next motion is regarding Senate Bill 146, which was put on the floor in Sacramento to address that there is no root cause analysis that's being required of them before they reopen. So it's two separate issues.
Okay. That was all.
All right. Any other public comment? Public comment. All right. Seeing none, board discussion. We'll start.
Oh.
Julie?
Yeah, what's the practical effect if we pass this? Are we signing on to this letter? Is it just, we're just making a statement, public statement of support by passing the motion here?
Yeah, we would be making a public statement of support for Porter Ranch neighborhood councils, like one neighborhood council to another, showing support.
So we aren't signing the letter?
No, we're not actually signing the letter.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Anyone against, speaking against the motion?
I have a question.
Hold on. Against the motion. All right.
I think the letter is premature. I think it's one-sided. I think I can't even say it's ill-advised because there's not enough information on here yet. I am very happy to support 146 to find the root cause. And if they can't find the root cause, then I want their permanent closing. But this letter is whether they find the cause, whether it can be properly remediated in any way, just a no, we need it to close. I think people are forgetting here there are just a finite amount of these areas, and if we shut them down, if another one pops, the price of gas is just going to skyrocket. And I'm willing, for safety's sake, to pay it if it's necessary. But I want to know more. I want to know what happened, and I want to know if there's any way that this can not happen again. I think the letter is premature.
Cindy, and then Justin.
So the letter's dated November 10th, so I would assume the letter already been sent, right, to the governor?
Yes.
Well, I think we're supporting it no matter what, because in the back of it, our name's on there.
Well, no, we're CC. That's the CC.
Oh,
that's
that's
not a,
CC.
right, that's not an endorsement.
Justin?
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people are there. Yeah.
I would also say no, because well, there was supposed to be a hearing yesterday, I think, and that was canceled because of protesters. Or was that today?
It was held.
It was held yesterday. There was another one today.
Oh, there was one today, right. So I was
yeah.
And tomorrow also. So I was
right.
I was agree with Penn, just wait for all permission before we say
All right, any other discussion? Anyone else in favor of? I've had two against. Yes, sir?
I'm in favor of that specifically because, well, these two motions go hand in hand, even though they're separate. But we have to look at the preponderance of the evidence. And that dictates that, especially when you consider there's been 5 more leaks since then, at least, I support it.
All right, anyone else speaking against? Speaking against? Yes, Bonnie, speaking against.
I'm conflicted on it because I don't think that it's true that they can close this and we aren't going to have shortages. As I understand it, this is one of the most major sources, and it's not intended to be a daily use. It's only intended for storage for overflow. So it only gets tested during the overflow needs, which might be our 105 degrees in the summer, or when we have an especially cold winter, which doesn't exist.
I'd like to answer that,
So,
because that's a misunderstanding. Yeah.
No, let's finish the debate.
What I'm saying is that I somewhat agree that we need to find out first if it can be repaired rather than just say close it, because I don't know where we're going to get gas if it's closed. And if there is another alternative, can it be fixed, or can the gas be moved, or whatever? I just think to just say no matter what, you close it, has me a little bit concerned.
All right. Mr. Dunlap.
Well, we actually had a lot of this answered, guys, and I think some people were absent, or because we had the lobbyists from the gas company that were here, the 2 ladies. What meeting was that? Do you guys remember?
November.
Yeah. So, and then we also had someone from
Water Watch. Yeah.
Exactly, and they answered this, and when the lobbyists from the who were for it came here, they were basically saying that this is a storage facility. It doesn't even affect us. It's not for the people in this area. And I've been involved in this. I've been in documentaries involved in this. I've done a lot of research. I've had a lot of people who've done research and talked to me directly because, like I said, I used to run up in Cessna, and I was every day 10 miles, so my lungs were taking in a lot of air when they hadn't even told us this was occurring. And during that same time, when my now wife was in Porter Ranch with me, she had a hemiplegic migraine, which is caused a lot of times through environment. She hadn't had that since she was 13. And my wife's uncle, who we're taking care of right now, in the same time that this was going on, had a stroke, and is still in. And they live in Chatsworth North, so we're talking like right there. We're right up against there, and so a lot of this was answered. One of the things that we have to look at is that the solar technology and power that's being used is making this less and less relevant, and we're talking about a thing that's going to be there for the next 10 to 20 years, and we look at how much less we're dependent on this. This is a storage. It won't change. The whole rumor, remember they got in trouble for a commercial they had that's like, oh, you're going to have rolling blackouts. And
they actually, in the LA Times article that was recently published, they actually found that they were manipulating the supply similar to what Enron had done. They've got us.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, they were deliberately manipulating because they need to do what's called a daily balancing of the needs of the gas. And what they were doing is they were manipulating the daily balance in order to make it look like they were running out, and they weren't.
So my last point, Dave, and then I'm done because I've taken too much time, is that, thank you, by the way, that's very smart. They're going to start drilling for oil on this campus and in national parks. Let's try and do one for the environment this year. So I'm in for supporting this 100%.
All right, anyone speaking against? One more speaker against? Anyone? I don't see anything else. We're going to take a vote. We're going to take a roll call vote on this. Julie, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, start with the roll call, please.
Dave Bouvet.
Yes.
Michael Benedetto.
Absolutely.
Jeffrey Bower.
No.
Bonnie Burke, abstain. Julie Carson, abstain. Judge Dunlap.
Passionately, yes.
Don Graham.
Finale, yes.
Justin. Yeah. Sally Colston.
Yes.
Don Lopez.
Yes.
Darren Lopez.
No.
Joel Lyle.
Hold on, folks, so we can hear the votes. Joel is a yes.
Okay, Anthony Matthews.
No.
Mark Morris.
Yes.
Brandon Schindleheim.
Abstain.
Renee Trinidad.
Aye.
Andrew Wall.
Yes.
Cindy Wu-Freeman.
Absolutely, yes.
Eleven yes, 3 no, and 4 abstentions.
All right, the motion carries then. Thank you very much. That was, okay. Anthony's leaving. He has a early morning flight to overseas, Bangalore.
Bangalore. Whoa,
Yeah,
are you
so
on witness protection?
let the record reflect. Thank you very much, Anthony.
You got the name card?
Do you need a lawyer? Okay.
All right, let's go to the next item on board issues, which is the, Mark, you also asked to put this on?
Yes.
So, and again, the documentation is at the back for the public. Go ahead, Mark. Make the motion.
Thank you, Dave. I'd like to make a motion to support State Senate Bill 146 calling for the root cause analysis of the blowout of the Southern California Aliso Canyon facility before it can be reopened to conduct regular business. And just to report, I've spoken with the newly elected Senator Scott Wilk, who is our state assembly person, and he's very much in agreement with this. Senator Hertzberg is really in agreement with this, and the LA City Council just passed a resolution to support today. Today to SB 146. And what it is just
but before we speak any further on, let's get a second. Seconded by Mrs. Lopez.
And like Eric, you had brought up, this is, what's relevant about this is that in SB 380, which was the Senate bill that shut down the facility until it could be proven safe to operate, they kind of presumed that they would do a root cause analysis just for the sake of like the industry itself. You'd want to know if my car broke down, I would want to know what caused it. And unfortunately, they did no root cause analysis. And so what this is written by Senator Stern, who actually was very instrumental in the drafting, worked on drafting SB 380. And so this is sort of an addendum to that to make sure that there's no rush to open up the facility without knowing what caused it. So thank you.